Wuthering Waves has been around for about a year now, and over that time, the game has developed its fair share of myths and misconceptions, which can hurt your progression, account strength, or overall gameplay experience. Some of these misconceptions have been around ever since the game's launch, while others developed recently due to how the game has changed over the past few months. In today's video, I'll break down some of these misconceptions at all stages of progression, explain why each of them is wrong, and clarify what you should do instead to make the game much more fun to play and improve your account overall. But before we proceed any further, I want to let you guys know that making these videos take a ton of time to plan and put everything together, if I'm being honest. And one of the best ways to support what I do is by checking out Raid in the description. I know we've all heard of the game, but if you're into strategy or just want to support me, give it a chance, follow the steps to set up your new account to enjoy the $200 worth of bonuses and free champions that you get with the link in the description. And who knows, you might even enjoy it if you give it a try. And it'll mean the world to me because your support will be much appreciated. Misconception number 1. Always increase your union level as soon as possible. Many players believe that you should increase your union level as fast as possible, which allows you to increase your soul phase level or world level in Genshin terms, to get access to more rare echoes, to level up your data bank, which helps you get 5-star echoes much faster, rare leveling materials, and get more EXP overall, since story quests and some side quests can be locked until you increase your union level. The misconception here is that a higher world difficulty is automatically better for progression, and delaying Ascension Trial quest wastes potential rewards. For beginners, increasing your soul phase level too early can actually backfire and make the game quite hard if you're not prepared. Wuthering Waves increases enemy levels and make them stronger when your soul phase level or world level goes up. This can result in a soft locked feeling because even basic enemies can take ages to beat. So, before taking the Phase Ascension Trial quest, which increases your soul phase level, make sure to level up the characters in your single or main team, because you should be using just one team in the beginning so that you don't spread your resources too thin, and then level up your weapons and talents as high as you can. By ascending at a proper time, you ensure that the difficulty jump feels manageable and you can still defeat enemies with ease in the overworld. Misconception number 2. Only spend wave plates when you have characters to build. Wave plates refreshes daily up to 240, and you can exchange them to get weapon, skill, and character leveling materials, but most players only start focusing on wave plates when there are upcoming characters that they wish to pull and build, which prevents them from efficiently using their wave plates because they don't actually know what to do with it until then. So this should be your daily routine if you don't have any characters to build. Spend at least 80 wave plates on shell credits because you need them for almost everything that you level up in the game, 80 on resonance potion for ascending characters, and 80 on energy core for leveling up weapons. The reason you're doing this is because these materials are universal and can be used for when leveling any character or any weapon in the future. Only farm tacit fields for sealed tubes when Code Cleansing event comes up, which gives you double rewards for spending just 60 wave plates. Now, for the Bountiful Crescendo double drop event, it's easy to get confused whether to spend your wave plates in the Forgery Challenge or the Simulation Challenge for double drop rewards when a new character is about to be introduced in the game to help you get prepared. But if you usually spend your wave plates farming Resonance Potion, shell credits, and energy core, like I mentioned earlier, before the Bountiful Crescendo event drops, it makes it easier to focus on Forgery Challenge to farm for the specific skill and weapon materials for upcoming characters like Chisa, for example, when her materials get officially released during the version 2.8 special broadcast. Misconception number 3. It's okay to skip events. One of the biggest motivations for playing events is the astrites that you get as a reward upon completion, but sometimes some events can be pretty boring, like the current event called Lament Recon Solaris Soldier, which gives you less incentive to play the event to completion. But what a lot of players fail to realize is that materials such as Forgery Premium Supply, Premium Enclosure Tanks, and the best of them all, Seal Tubes, that you get are one of the most important rewards, since you'll need a lot of them for echo upgrades to get those crispy double crit substats. and it actually complements the tip that I gave in misconception number 2 about only spending your Waveplate on tacit fields when the code cleansing event drops in the game, because you get very little amount of sealed tubes for spending 60 Waveplates on tacit fields, which is kind of a ripoff in my opinion. If you're more worried about not obtaining echoes by not doing tacit fields, just make sure to play the Fantasies of 1000 Gateways event weekly to get unborn echoes and you should be good. So in summary, regardless of how bad an event may be designed, just focus on getting your sealed tubes and be done with it. Misconception number 4. Put all the resources into building your DPS units. Supports and hybrids don't really matter. This is a very dangerous misconception. While it's true that your DPS unit should be the main focus in terms of resource investment to get double crit on your echoes and level up their most important talent to level 10, many players tend to relax after properly building their DPS units and do not put much focus into their hybrid and support. If it makes you feel any better, I've done this multiple times on my main account. Nothing is more painful than spending about 30 seconds on another rotation while the boss is at low health just so you can quickly intro to your DPS unit to clear out the enemy because they might have run out of forte stacks or the special mode for dealing damage ran out in the previous rotation, which can make you waste a lot of time, and it even becomes worse if you do not have the main damage dealer's signature weapon. And this could have been easily avoided by spending extra time to properly build your hybrids so that they can do decent damage after you've properly built the DPS unit that they synergize with. Let me use these Augusta runs here as an example. You can see that in the Uno team, we're actually doing 1.3% more damage than the Mortefi team. However, the Uno team was able to clear Dragon of Dirge in just one rotation, and you can see right here that the next boss is about to appear, which is Lampilumen. This is clear evidence that Uno's personal damage is what actually contributed to clearing Dragon of Dirge in one rotation within 33 seconds. But with the Mortefi team, you can see that I'm actually prepping for another rotation since Mortefi's personal damage output is pretty low. So the point I'm trying to make is that players are mostly focused on the buffing capabilities that 5-star hybrids and some supports can provide, while losing sight of the personal damage that they can contribute to increase the team's overall damage per second. Now do keep in mind that this is not really an issue in monofusion team comps, for example, because Lupa, Brandt, and Chun-Li want you to have a good investment in all of them, so they can all dish out pretty decent damage. In other endgame content like Whimper Waste, your sub-DPS or hybrids can mostly clear out a single wave of enemies if they have been properly built, so your DPS unit can take care of new wave of enemies, which increases the points that you can get overall. And you don't really need the signature weapons of most sub-DPS buffers to make that happen. Feel free to check out this video where I covered the best alternatives for every weapon type in the game for free-to-play and low spenders. Link will be in the description. All you need is the best alternative and cracked echo substats. So for supports like Shorekeeper, if you don't really have any DPS unit to build for the longest possible time, you can focus on HP substats for more healing and crit damage substats to make her special intro do more damage since it's guaranteed to crit, which helps you clear content much faster. Misconception number 5. Just button mash, no need for complicated rotations. It's common knowledge that gacha games are supposed to be casual, and I've gotten several comments on my content creation journey about how I keep creating a narrative that there's some kind of elitism in Wuwa because I usually dive into more advanced combat mechanics for certain characters, even though it's a gacha game that is meant to be easy or button mashed. But this is a big misconception, and it makes you miss the point of what makes Wuthering Waves different among popular titles in the gacha genre. Don't get me wrong, rotations become relatively easy depending on the type of account that you have. If you're a player that can afford to pull for the best in slot sub DPS buffer for your main DPS in addition to their signature weapons, the game makes it easy to beat any endgame content. So in that scenario or in that situation, you can button mash your way to victory when using a Zani Phoebe team or a Cartethia Chacona team composition. For example, due to the easy application of Spectrofrazzle from Phoebe and error erosion from Chacona. But for free-to-play and low spenders, who are mostly in the majority, that may not have Phoebe on their account, there is an option to quick swap out of Nightfall from Zani to Spectral Rover to continuously apply Spectral Frazzle with the Forte skill. The same can be said about Sanwa and Cortethia team compositions, where you can double intro to Cortethia from Sanwa in one rotation to apply more error erosion in single target endgame mode due to Sanwa's incredibly quick concerto and resonance energy regeneration, especially at S6. Another example is using easily accessible characters like Tao Chi, for example, as a buffer for Carlotta. And if you can't afford to pull for Cheshi, you will need to optimize the rotations in such a way that you can skip some of Tao Chi's basic attacks so that basic attack stage 4 can come out much faster to help you regenerate more concerto energy and leave the field as fast as possible. These are just a few examples that I can think of, but the point I'm trying to make is that Wuwa is one of the few gacha games that actually rewards you for finding alternative ways to play different team comps so that even free-to-play and low spenders can clear endgame content while player skill doesn't really matter that much in popular titles like Genshin Impact. So you're always motivated to pull for new limited units that buffs existing reactions in one way or another, or the game decides to sell you a new reaction altogether. Keep in mind that this is not meant to persuade you that one game is better than the other, because each one has their strengths and weaknesses. And to be honest, gacha tribalism is for children in my opinion. The point I'm trying to make is that there's room for experimentation, and your skill actually matters to some extent, which can potentially save you money in Wuthering Waves, especially if you're free to play or low spender that just enjoys the game. That'll be all for this installment of the account improvement playlist on the channel. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and use my link in the description to check out Raid if you would like to support the channel. Our Discord link will also be in the pinned comment if you're having any issues with the game, help with your builds, or you just want a place to chill or hang out. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.